Hello, guys. Good morning. It's early in the morning here. I just woke up. I'm coming from taking my children to school. So I hope that you're doing fine. I am also well. My name is Charity Nganga. This is Charity's Bubble USA, your #1 channel. We're going to do a video about some questions that have been asked about the previous video that I did. I'm trying to cross the road here. And I'm going to answer 2 or 3 questions here. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, there's the sun. The sun is very, very, very hot. I hope it's like shining very brightly. I hope it doesn't affect my video very much. But it is what it is. I think I'll work with that. That's the sun, the reflection of the sun. Now, I want to talk about names. Names are important when you're doing the DV lottery, but normally what I know is that if your child has a different last name from yours or from the person that you're married to, or if that child is adopted, or if that child you are abandoned by your spouse, I've talked about this several times, guys, and said you can always go to court, or you go see a lawyer and get a document saying that you are legal. Despite the name, you are the legal custodian of that child, and that spouse or that person who was responsible, the other parent, abandoned that child. Because if they're not there, they're not there. There is no point that you're gonna carry. I don't like my video right now, but I hope that it's gonna get clearer. There's no way that you're gonna carry the burden of someone who was not there. So a document always helps to show that that is your child. You know what I mean? Like, that should not be a big deal. It's not a big deal. Just do that and you'll be okay. And remember, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you know the drill. Kindly consider subscribing. Kindly consider sharing my videos with your friends and sharing the good information. This is the last month, and the next month you're going to fill out the DV lottery. So you have to be prepared. You have to be well prepared. Now, the other video was about marriage. And I like to give my own example, guys. Because, you know, in Africa, most of the time, when people get married, not everybody is able to afford a wedding. Not everybody is able to afford to do a legal wedding. Some people are lucky enough, they're able to be married in a customary marriage. Other people just do come we stay, but they have kids, and that is it. You know, like, you have lived together, you have children, you have a family, you are married according to the law of your land, especially the African law. If you live with a man for all that time and you have kids, you're married. You know what I mean? So I want to give you my example. So when I got married, we were not lucky. So we did not have to go, we didn't have to do a wedding. We did not go to pay, my husband did not go to pay dowry like immediately that we got married. No, it took us a while. So when we won our DV lottery, we had been married for a long time, we had kids, but we didn't have a marriage certificate. So what we did is that after we won the DV lottery, and ours was very fast, because we processed everything after I saw the 2NL. And my story, I normally tell you that, and that's why it's very, very important to be checking your email. I never used to check my email, but one morning when I was going to work, I saw an email telling us that we were supposed to go to the embassy in March. Yeah, it was in March, and by that time it was in January. That's when I saw our 2NL. We didn't have a passport. We didn't have a marriage certificate. Like, we had nothing, totally. The only person who had a passport was my husband, because he used to go out of the country. But that was it. I think he had gone to the East Africa for quite several times. That was it. And actually his passport was not viable, because I do remember, you know, there are problems whereby you keep your passport and then it gets mold. So I remember it was mold. We used to live in an apartment whereby it was in the down floor, so it used to get like very cold, and so he had a little bit of mold. So we knew that was not an appropriate passport. And I like to tell you my story because some of you might be in the same situation. So what we did, we applied for our passports immediately, of course, and I'm not gonna lie, it took some help. We got some help from my husband's friends. He used to have friends who worked in the passport area, and we got help. We got a lot of help. Let me just say that we got a lot of help, because that was January, and by February we had our passports. I was looking at my Kenyan passport the other day and I was like, oh, these ones were fast. And then we did have a marriage certificate, and we needed that to show that our marriage was legal. But we had kids. You know, when you have kids, you know, kids are evidence. Even if sometimes maybe you might not have kids, but you have been with the family of your spouse. You have been maybe you have pictures. You have joint bank accounts. You have things that you have done together. Those are things that show that you are married. You don't really have to have that piece of paper, but there are things that show that you have been together for that time. Because I saw a question that was saying that they have been together for 9 years. That's okay. So we did our marriage in church. So we went, talked to the priest, and then actually it was done during Mass. We went for Mass just as usual, and then we went there, we said our vows, and that was it, capiche. There was no party, there was nothing, because we didn't have money to do a wedding at that point, because all our money we were channeling it to the DV lottery. And we got our marriage certificate, and it was valid. And if they had asked for evidence, we had children. If they had asked for evidence, we had bank accounts that were joint. If they asked for evidence, we had so many things that were joined together, like we were doing together. So if you do your things together with your spouse, regardless whether you have that paper that shows that you are legally married, your marriage certificate, if you have that evidence, you're okay. You just need to go and look for someone who is licensed to perform to legalize marriages, and then you say you have to have maybe a witness or two. You don't have to do a wedding. As we didn't do a wedding. No, we didn't, you know. And I'm not a big fan of those people who go and do like $1 million wedding or whatever wedding, and then the money that they are using is either they have gone and taken a loan, which is gonna take a toll on them because they will be paying a debt. You do you. I normally say you do you. You can even just look for someone, the witness, and you go to a pastor, and you get married. That's it. You don't have to invite a crowd. Actually, it was me, my husband, and actually his brother, and another lady who are witnesses to a marriage, and that was it. Actually, like, as long as you're getting a marriage certificate that is valid, because you have to present one at the embassy when you go for your interview. That's it. But if you have been married, customs are different, and it's diverse. It's very diverse. People do things their own way. So there is no way that they are going to tell you that you are not married simply because you didn't have a piece of paper. You have other ways that you can show evidence, if they needed it, that you are married, because it's not like here in the US. Here in the US, it's a little bit different, because when you're married, you have to go to court or get married, or you have to get married somewhere or whatever. But to have that paper. But if you have been living with a man, even if it's for 10 years and they have not married you, like you don't have a marriage certificate, that one they normally say it's my boyfriend. But in Africa, it's a little bit different. So that should not worry you much. Should not worry you. The other question was about, what was it about? It was about if you come in with a large family, if you're going to get support from the government. Now, I'm not going to say yes, and I'm not going to say no, but in the state of Kansas, you're not going to get anything. Maybe other states, I haven't lived in another states, but you're not going to get anything. To an extent, you'll go and apply for food stamps as a permanent resident here in Kansas, and you're not going to get them, because they're going to tell you that you're not a citizen. We tried. because we had so many problems. Like, oh my gosh, we were so broke. And I do remember us going to that office to get food. Someone told us that we could go and get food stamps. Food stamps is a check that they give you, and you can go and shop with it, food and whatever. We didn't get it. I do remember we spent almost all day sitting there. There were so many people, and finally they didn't give us. So don't come expecting that you are going to get help, even if you have a big family. The first thing that you have to do to prove about your DV lottery, number one, you have to be able to process the whole case, process for your children, process for everybody, and they always give you a leeway whereby after you get your visa, not before, after you get your visa, you can leave your family and then you come and work a little bit and send them fare. But you would have done the other whole process. You can do that. But when you come, if you come here in this state, normally you don't, most of the time you're not going to get help. You won't get help. And I think for us, it was a good thing that we did not get help from anyone. We didn't get food stamps. We didn't get whatever. But if you have small kids, if you have kids who are below 5 years old, you can go to another place whereby it's called Wake, whereby you can go, you get milk, you get beans, you get peanut butter, you get bread. You can go to Wake, because there they don't really look at whether you are a citizen or a permanent resident. That's for babies. That one is for little babies who are below 5. They get milk, like free milk for 5 good years. So that one is different, very, very different, guys. So don't expect that you're gonna come in, you get help with rent, you get help. No, the thing that you're gonna do is that if you learn to a good host, a perfect host. I call myself a perfect host because I did help someone, and right now they live by themselves. They have their own apartment. They have a good car. Their child is going to a good school. So I know that I am, and I'm not bragging, I have done it. So I know that I can help someone, hold someone's hand until they stand up on their own feet. We can do that. Me and Francis, we can do that. Now, what I'm saying is that you land a good host who is gonna help you to get your papers very fast, to go and get your social. Because when you come in, you go get your social, you go get your before you come in, what I normally recommend is that apply for your green card when you are in your country. That's very, very important, of which most people do not like doing that, but that's the best thing. Because when you come in, you will either find it's already here, or you will just stay a little bit and then your green card is gonna come in. So when you come in, you get your social, you go, of course it's good to come in when you know how to drive, so that you can go for your driving test, and then you start driving. You get a driver's license. But even if you don't have a driver's license, you can get just a normal ID, and your host, if your host is gracious enough, they can look for a job. I do remember we got a job for Anne just near our house, whereby we would wake up early in the morning, take her to work, and then get her back in the evening. So you can do that. And then, because it will take you less than a month, in a month you will have a job. If you, all your papers, because the social doesn't take a long time, and the social is kind of all that you need, so that you can process, you can start looking for a job. If you have a social, you will get a job. And most places, when you have a social, they don't, and you have your ID, they really don't go to ask for your green card. Because of course you write down that you're a permanent resident and anything. But if they want more information, you can give them. But I know that with your social and your ID, they are able to know whether you are legal, you can work here legally. Then you get a job, and then you start working and looking for money to rent your apartment, to start your family. And like I said, us being denied the food stamps, us being denied any help, really helped us to be on our feet. Because the moment we didn't get it, we didn't even appeal, because they normally tell you to appeal. We didn't appeal. We just, I do remember my husband just started working. He worked so many double works. You know, he did a lot of work. And by the end of the day, we were able to sustain ourselves with no help from anybody. So it doesn't matter whether you have a big family. When you come in here, know that you will have to help yourself. so that you can be able to achieve your dream. But you cannot come in relying on that you're gonna get help from whoever. No, don't come with that notion, guys, because that's gonna make you fail, and you don't want to fail. You do not want to fail. You want to succeed. So if you come, I'm not going to talk about other states because I haven't lived in other states, but here you will not get help. You have to help yourself. It doesn't matter whether you have many kids or not. That's besides the point. So guys, I hope that you are getting this information, and remember the photo. Every video that I will be doing, I will have to talk about that photo. Guys, I need you to work on your photo. You must have a perfect photo before the developer lottery starts. Guys, take your photo. Make sure that it qualifies, the right one, so that you can fill out your DV lottery with no worries. Because like I said, you don't need to make any payment. You don't need to have a passport, but you need to have those photos, and they have to be for your families. And even if you have step kids, you have adopted kids, remember to include them. So guys, I hope that this video is going to help one of you. Trying to answer your questions the best as I can. And I know there were some questions that came in on my DM. Some people wrote me on my DM, but I am gonna look at those, and then I'm gonna talk about them in my next video. So I hope that this helps. Continue watching my videos, continue sharing, continue subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you, and God bless you, and I wish you all the best as you prepare to apply for the DV lottery. Thank you.